Hey everyone! Yeah, almost got caught then, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we'll just giggle and no one knows what we've said or what we did. But I have Havannah Kelly with me tonight.
Hi guys.
And Havannah is our finalist for Miss Australia 2020. And wow, we've got so much to touch on with your life and all of 24 years, I might add, everyone. Like 24 years. Wait till you hear what she's crammed into this 24 years. So let's go back to, and we'll talk about the quest like after, but let's talk about you growing up and with mental health issues and what sort of mental health issues have you got that you're dealing with and lived with?
Yeah, so I personally have ADHD, OCD and sensory disorder, which my parents really did their research and everything, so I had a pretty blessed upbringing with it all, considering with a lot of things. It was very hard, especially in school though, obviously like learning difficulties with ADHD and all that sort of stuff to be able to pass and stuff, so for all the stuff I have accomplished, I am very proud of using my mental health.
So for like the sensory situation, what does that entail?
So sensory is sort of things like touching things, certain feelings of clothing, sound. It's to do with your nervous system. So sometimes like even just sounds or things too close to me, my nervous system just kind of like shuts down. So it's very hard to sometimes function when you're in your own head, like with that sort of stuff.
Wow. And do you, like, I know something we touched on with anxiety, do you have a problem with?
Yeah, so I have high anxiety, which is along the side of the sensory ADHD and the OCD, and throughout my life have had depression, come out of it, and had some postnatal depression after my daughter as well.
So you've got a 4-year-old?
Yes.
Little girl?
Yes, little Chloe.
Little Chloe. Hi Chloe, if you're watching tonight. So for you as a young mum, well, let's go back to, like, did you finish school? Did you?
I dropped out towards the end of year 11 and went down and lived with my dad and went and worked at McDonald's.
Okay, well that's good training, isn't it?
Yeah.
McDonald's, like really good training for a young person.
Yeah, well I worked at McDonald's from when I was, I think the age was 15, but me and my brother, who's 2 years younger than me, every holidays would do work for my grandfather, and then when we were about 13 we had a paper route around the neighbourhood, so we always got taught to work to make our money.
So what sort of work were you doing for your grandfather?
So when we were kids we did would collect like bottles or clean up the factory and everything, but now I work for him full time as a civil estimator.
Wow, okay, so this is like, now I asked you before, we were talking about degrees and you were saying, right, and I go, so what did you have a degree in? So you go blah blah and blah blah and blah blah and blah blah. And I go, she's obviously lied about her age. Or she went to uni at 8. So let's talk about your degrees.
So I have all the business TAFE stuff, so like admin and like all the white cards and stuff for business, and for obviously civil engineering, civil estimation area. I have my PT certificate, interior design certificate, diploma, and I'm currently doing my bachelor's of psychiatry with a major in criminology.
I'm just going, this girl's 24.
I like to stay busy.
Yeah, well, obviously. And I say to you, well, how did you do that with a 4-year-old child? And
so I did my PT, I started that when I was pregnant. I did the PT and then I did the interior design about a year ago. I finished that, and then I've started, just after I started my interior design, I started my psychology degree.
Wow. And why, like, what led you into that area, the psychology? And
I've always been really intrigued, and I know it may sound a bit bad in a way, but very intrigued with the criminal's mind and how a criminal behaviour works and everything, and always wanted to work in policing. So because I had my daughter, I felt pregnant when I was looking at applications to go down to the police. I was looking at other areas and ways to get into that sort of field and everything, and talking to the uni place, they said that it'd be good to go into something like psychology and stuff, because that would go into the behavioural science of criminology and everything as well, without having to do the whole policing and that work to start with.
Wow. And like, okay, and something else that we touched on in relation to your father.
Yeah.
And do you want to tell us that little story about...
So my parents divorced when I was probably 6-7 years old. Definitely looking back, I do believe it was a better thing for them. But my dad did go through a lot of mental health and depression, and he got taken off some medication a bit too quickly than what he should when I was maybe 13, and I had come out of the pool and I could hear him and my stepmom arguing. But I walked out and walked up and I heard this bang, which was a nail gun, and he had, all I saw is him fall and the nail gun fall, and he had shot his heart with the nail gun and just nipped his heart. So he was very close to dying, but obviously he's still here with us, and everything. So that went well and everything afterwards, and he was going well. And then last year, I got a call from his doctor saying that he's tried to commit suicide again, and that she was sending him up to mine so that like he didn't be put in a mental home over Christmas.
So he was released into your care?
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Wow. So how does all that make you feel, knowing that about your dad? Like,
I'm the sort of person that looks at everything, sits, deals with it. Once it's dealt with, move on. Like, obviously things sometimes take longer to deal with and stuff, but if you're going to sit and dwell on the past or dwell on things that make you upset or depressed or anything, then it's going to keep it there and you're going to stay depressed. So I kind of tried to look at positive, like, okay, well, he's still here. If he knows that he can talk to me if he needs to. He knows he's got people who love him and everything. And even though he's going through a divorce now, it's like there's still people that love him.
That's really wise words from a 24-year-old. Like, I'm just thinking, are you sure the body snatchers haven't been? And they've just stuck this elderly woman in a very beautiful young body. Like, I just, wow. You must inspire so many people out there. Like, and I know after this interview there would be people out there going, well, you know what? Like, I'm 20 or I'm 23 or even 25, I'm going to do something with my life. Like,
well, I look at it too that a lot of people think that you get to your 30s and that's the end of your life, where it's not like I follow a guy called Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's one of my big mentors. And I listen to his podcast on the way to work, and he's always like, he gives you one advice and he says, you're going to die. So what? And he literally says, you're going to die.
Sorry, I mean, I shouldn't laugh because I should take that seriously.
But it is true. Like, if you look at it as
actually,
you're going to die, what do you want to actually do with your life?
Exactly.
Like, do you want to sit and do nothing? Or if there's something you want to do, okay, well, get up and do it. And, like, the thing with me being ADHD is if there's something I want to do, I will try every way possible until I can't do it. So if I can't do it, then I'll be like, okay, well, what can I do that's different but still sort of in that area that I want to do? So you've got to really look at what you want to be looked at as, or what you want. Like, you're not doing it for other people, you're doing it for yourself. And if you start looking at like you're doing it for other people, then you're not going to get anywhere.
It's very wonderful advice. Oh, I just think you're an old soul, because this is just quite impossible, really. But how does ADHD affect your day-to-day?
So I'm now, for about 2 years, I've been on Ritalin. So I grew up with just a very strict diet. My mum was very good with keeping me on diet and not eating the wrong thing and everything. But when I had my daughter, because she's also got OCD and sensory, it became hard for me to do that and study and pretty much not stay sane, but be a good mum where I can be and not overreact or like have a meltdown because I can't cope with her. So it kind of, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. It's when I got put onto the medication, it kind of showed not only me but everyone how hard it was for me
before the medication.
So I know when I'm coming off my medication, like my mum I'll be on the phone to my mum and she'll be like, have you had your Ritalin? I'm like, no. She goes, okay, I'll call you back. And I'm like, okay. And my grandma will be like, have we had our Ritalin today? I'm like, yes, we have had it.
So do you notice a difference yourself?
I do. Like, it kind of brought out my OCD a lot more. Like, I was always very OCD and precise about things and how things had to be, but it made my OCD stand out when I was on when I'm on the Ritalin, because I actually get things done where when you've got ADHD, you can get 100 things done, but you never actually get it finished. So I would always start spring cleaning my house, but every room in the house would be half cleaned because I'd go into another room. So it kind of made me like stop and actually do what I need to do, even though like sometimes I'll have to go, like I can't stay on one task for very long. I can stay on it and get things done and be more productive on Ritalin.
So the OCD, how does that affect your life?
So
what happens to you when you're going through that? Like what's an example of OCD for you?
So I feel that people get a bit confused sometimes with OCD of it just being like locking doors or doing something 3 times or something, where OCD is very much connected with anxiety. To have OCD, you've got to have another mental illness as well. So it's not something that is just there. There's something that stems from another mental illness. So for me, it's things like I'll walk back to the door and I will check that it's locked because my anxiety is like, okay, is the door locked? Or the way like my house is laid out, I have things in containers and like I'm very precise with how my house looks and stuff. It's not that I'm a neat freak or everything has to be perfectly clean. Like, I have a child, she's going to make a mess. It's the way things are done. Like, I do wash my hands a lot if I feel dirty, but I'll only use one cloth and then I'll use another cloth. So it's little things that if someone, like my dad washed his hands in my kitchen sink when he'd been working on the car, and I went into like a bit of a panic mode. I'm like, no, laundry, go, laundry. So it's little things of, I don't like contaminating type things. I'm very fussy with what I touch, but then I'm very fussy with my routine as well. So if I get out of routine, I end up having like a bit of a meltdown, like what's happening, my body kind of goes into a shock.
So what is a meltdown for you? Like, what happens to you? So just so
a meltdown is a meltdown. So like for me, like for my daughter, I'll watch her and she'll start to get like a tantrum, and then I can see her hyperventilating, and so I can go, okay, we'll sit you down and stuff. So I'm similar to her where I'll start to like panic and stuff. I'm like, no, that's not right. I can't have that. But then I've got to try and think to myself, okay, count, look at something, touch something, because I've learned doing psychology, even though your brain can be thinking of 100 things, you can only focus on one thing. So if you trigger your brain to start doing something else, it stops the meltdown.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so and we'll get back to that in a minute because I'm really interested in this. So if, like you say, having a meltdown, if you focus on...
So I teach my daughter and I teach like the childcare, and I'm going to a school to talk to them. So that's why they always say if you're going to have a panic attack or you start stressing something, touch something, look for something to feel stuff, because the way your brain is wired and works is you can have 100 things, literally 100 things on your mind and everything. Like I have a notepad next to my bed because I have to constantly write down things. But if you sit there and you start counting, you can completely forget what your brain's thinking about, and your brain's concentrating on what you're doing at that time. So then you stop thinking about, obviously, the thing that's making you meltdown or making you panic or something like that.
Okay, I mean, that's great. And this is the sort of work that you're getting into now. So we're going to talk about that too. There's so much to talk about. Like, wow, you're 24. Like, I can't believe it. So, let's talk about, so you've gone through that with your dad.
Yep.
You're a young mum. How did you get involved with the quest? Pageant.
So, one of my really close friends from high school, she actually is about to come back from Jamaica. She is in one of the bigger pageants. She got me onto another girl in Newcastle called Jasmine, who does like little pageants. Said, "Oh, you and Chloe would be really good. Why don't you give it a go?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'll give it a go," and everything. And my daughter loves them. Like, my grandmother has made us dresses and everything. She's a dressmaker. So we got into all that and everything. And then I started talking to them. I said, "Oh, I want to do like a bigger pageant and get into bigger ones, and then slowly get Chloe into bigger ones if she wants to do that." And I was looking through, and I was going to do one, but it was in Queensland. I'm like, "Oh, I can't really focus on doing something in Queensland at the moment, even though it's not really that far. It's just work and child and everything. You got to juggle everything." And then one of the girls I'm friends with, Ruby, put this one up, saying they'll take an application. So I had a chat with her and everything, and she explained it to me and everything. And I thought, yeah, okay, I'm going to give this a go. I can start like using my platform and my business and really try and do some help for people with mental health.
So what does the pageant do? So is it a beauty pageant?
So a lot of pageants, the big ones, are very charity-based nowadays, which I think is a lot better. People do look at them as beauty and just beauty, but...
this is beyond that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Like, if you look at them now, there's lots of different, like, all the nationalities, the culture, everything. Like, I watched my friend's one live, and there's just, like, the dances that they were doing from different cultures. It's very much bringing people together and everything. And, like, you've got your Sash sisters and everything, and, like, going for your platform and everything. And
what's a Sash sister?
So they're the other girls that are involved in the same pageant. They're your Sash sisters, so you're all the same Sashes.
Oh, that's so cool, isn't it? That's so lovely. And so you've gone and found out about it. So what did you have to do to actually become a finalist?
So I had to send all like my details and everything, and obviously do all the application fees and everything. And then they came back and said I was a finalist. So then we get like our information pack and everything, and start building our platform and go from there.
And your platform is mental health?
Mental health, mental illness, yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. So then you've now started a business?
Yeah, slowly starting a business, yes.
Yeah. So tell us about your business.
So my business is called Mind Over Matter, because I believe that everything is possible if you put your mind to it. So it's to help people not only with mental illnesses, but anyone with stress, anxiety, to have something there that helps bring awareness, helps people understand the disabilities or what's going on, not to take away from the professionals to do their jobs, but to help people before you can get to a professional as well. Because there's too many, obviously, suicides and people that go without help because they can't afford help. So I'll be creating an app, which my brother's designing at the moment for me, to be something that's just always there, like with information or something, so that also when you go to your doctor or something, you can say, okay, well, I've looked up this stuff, this is what's been going on, can you help me here?
It's a great idea. And I mean, the thing is too, that if you're in that situation, you know, ring Beyond Blue or Lifeline, and, you know, because there's lots of organisations around, there's lots of help out there for people, but sometimes we just, you know, we don't think that there is anyone there. We're in the moment. So Lifeline, the Lifeline number is 13 11 14. 13 11 14. 131114. And Beyond Blue is 1300 22 4636. So it's 1300 22 4636. So, you know, don't hesitate. Just if you need...
Nothing is...
Yes.
There's nothing that you're going through that someone hasn't been through similar situations. And it needs, like... I know that a lot of people are very up and down about the show 13 Reasons Why. And I was discussing this with some family members. But it's very... I think it's a show that needed to be watched and everything. Because if you think about it, like... these school shootings in America, all these people like doing all this stuff and everything. It's these people that get bullied or something. They're trying to get back at the people, and that's the way they do it. So it's no one's not gone through something that you've gone through. Like there's other people out there. Talking is a strength. It
Absolutely.
doesn't make you weak to talk.
Well, it's about releasing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because... well, in psychology, I mean, you're holding something in, it just turns into like a cancer and eats at you.
Yeah.
So, you know, best be letting it out and releasing all that. So I think that's really important for people to think about because, and I know how hard it is too to talk about.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, I mean, it's wonderful to have a friend or a family member or a girlfriend, guy friend. You know, it's really good to talk to them about it, but a lot of people don't like the fact of talking to someone that knows them. And that's why these organisations are there. And they will certainly give you some guidance and assistance in that. And even, you know, refer you to other organisations in your area.
Definitely.
So it's really important that you tell someone, talk to someone.
Yeah. Just
Just don't keep it within because that is not healthy.
No, it's not. Definitely isn't.
So if you win, what does that mean for you?
So when you win, you obviously continue with your platform with the other girls that receive their crowns and win in the other categories. You have other appearances with them to go to. There's also a visit to the Children's Hospital as well. So you keep going with your platform and helping and obviously alongside your SAS sisters, helping out them as well.
And you would have made great friends through that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like, and it's amazing when you get involved in something like that. You meet forever friends.
You do, yeah.
You know, so you would have like met a couple of sisters on the way. That
Yeah. So and you're all there, and you all cheer each other on. It's not. I really like the environment of it because it's not. Oh, I'm gonna win. It's very much everyone cheers everyone on, and you all like just do your best yourself, and yeah.
And that's what it's about, isn't
Yeah.
it? And you know, with your platform. So, what plans have you got in the near future?
So there's a school down in Wyong called Hopetown, and they're kindergarten to high school of mental illness and trauma boys. So I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to some of their therapy sessions. I'm also heading out to Lightning Ridge over the weekend to go out to the opal farms and talk with them and everything.
Wow. So I'm just going out to Lightning Ridge just like that to talk to the opal farmers. Like, yeah, all right. That's what a 24-year-old does in the spare time on the weekend.
I was a very cultured, I don't know if that's the right word, child. Like, we always learned about other people, like, everything. My grandmother speaks fluent Chinese. We've been with, I've learned Arabic and all this other stuff. My dad's partner's Arabic as well, and I love that culture. So we've always had something, like, we always were taught to respect other people's cultures and discuss their cultures, because everyone, like, even, like, beliefs and everything, everyone's got their own way of thinking, but if you're going to sit and listen to them, like, they'll respect you back as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, I just love the way you think. Not only the way you are, but the way you think. They're just everything. The whole package. Like,
Thank you.
you know, I wish you the best of luck in And you don't need luck, because I just think you are just such a wonderful representative, you know, for us, for our culture, for women.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that you're doing what you're doing and you've chosen your platform.
Yeah.
You know, and that to me means so much, because I just think that it's just wonderful that a young woman like you can make that decision and say, this is what I want to do and I want to give back this way. And, you know, and especially having no barriers that way, because you've been through it yourself, you're living it day to day.
Yeah.
And it would be very easy for you to say, well, you know, I'm going through my own stuff, like, you know, I can't help anyone, but you've turned that right around.
Yeah.
So you're giving hope to so many other people out there that have this situation in their lives, or, you know, that is about not giving up. It's about releasing all that stigma that just because you're living with a mental health issue, that you're stayed, or you can't jump out of the square.
I always say, just because you have a mental illness doesn't mean you don't have a strength.
Absolutely.
So you can use, like, I know that my ADHD and my OCD, I'm very organised. I'm very determined when I get to something. So I use that as a strength when I want to do something.
And that's the positive in the negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm a firm believer in.
Yeah.
And I think it can be very handy having someone with OCD in your family. Yeah. You know, it's about the way you present a certain situation. Yeah. Because they could make your kitchen look so amazing. You know, like, I have a family member who we knew how to do that. Like,
I actually clean my grandma's house on Mondays. And I love my grandma's house because when it looks clean, it just looks really good and everything. And, like, I wish my kitchen would actually look like that hers, when my house, like, looks clean.
And does that make you feel, like, really...
It kind of relaxes me. Like, if I'm in a really bad mood, I will literally pull out my cupboards and put them back in.
Wow. I wish I could do that every time I was in a bad
mood. My daughter's room at the moment is a complete mess, and it's really frustrating me. But, like, I look at it, I'm like, I just can't, because after 5 minutes, it's just like that again. Like, I just want to throw it all in the bin. Like, I'm satisfied when something goes from dirty to clean, especially, like, mopping or sweeping. I love mopping, sweeping, and vacuuming.
Wow.
How
about after the show? Like,
clean your house.
Show me how that's done. Like, hey? And I mean, look, I am not mocking anyone here, and please don't.
My only problem is I have to wash my hands 100 times.
That's all right.
So, like, I have gloves. Like,
I've got great
I constantly have gloves because I'm like, I'm not touching that.
I've got gloves with flamingos on them. So you'd be really liking that, you know. Yeah. And we'll take a couple of photos of the gloves with the flamingos, so, you know.
That's right. My mum's rolled her eyes at me a couple of times for the way I do things.
Well, mums do that, darling. We'll always do that.
Yes.
That's just who we are. You know, but we mean it with love. It's just one of those things, you know, like, must be beautiful to have a daughter like you. I'd be so proud. I mean, I have a beautiful daughter, let me tell you, and beautiful daughter-in-laws, but I just think you're amazing.
My mother-in-law, actually, she'll walk into my house and just opens and looks at my cupboards. I'm like, can you get out of my cupboard? She goes, I just want to look at your cupboards. Can you get out of my cupboard?
Because they're so organised.
It's just organised. And my fridge, everything has a way. Like, my dad came in and put stuff in. I'm like, no, it goes here and here. Drinks go here. He's like, okay,
so if someone come in and grab something out of your fridge, like, okay, if I want to be really, like, horrible, and I walked into your house and, hey, Havannah, how you going? And got in your fridge while you weren't looking and moved everything around, like, would you know?
Yes.
Oh, really? Is that...
I have drinks all set up in the top. I have then some drinks on the side and the milks on the side. Eggs on the top, then cheeses, garlic sauces. I've got all butter and everything in one line. All the veggies in containers in the veggie basket.
Don't open my fridge.
I can organise it for you.
Oh, okay then. We'll take before and after shots.
Yeah.
I'll send them to you. So, you know, and like I said before, I am not mocking anyone. Like, we're trying to make light of this because...
people need to understand there's positives of disability, and even if it's like a really like high like autistic person, that like my cousin, she's Down syndrome and she's the most beautiful girl and everything, and she's Like, she loves music, and she's like, she came to one of our pageants and she's like cheering and everything. I'm like, she should be up there. Like, they're awesome. Like, she does dance and everything, and they're just so happy to be around. Like, they don't look at their disability as a disability. They really live life as life.
They're happy, beautiful people. And I mean, you know, deep down, we all have a disability somewhere. Yeah. You know, there's something somewhere in
Everyone
us.
has felt some sort of...
Yeah, exactly. Stuff. Like, there's something that's happened somewhere in your life that, you know, a situation has evolved because of a certain situation. And, you know, like...
It's the way you look at it and dwell on it. If you look at it, take your step back, deal with it, move on the best you can.
And if you see someone in a situation, you know, stop and help them. Or how about this week, when you see someone in a wheelchair or something like that, how about you just smile at them and say hello?
I find it too, and being a mum, you might understand this too. My daughter having meltdowns as well, she'll melt down in the middle of something, she'll run off or anything. So, like, I get down on a level, like, talk to her, but she'll still do the meltdown. I've even had an elderly woman come up and go, "Stop being so rude to her." And I'm like, excuse me? I'm on her level saying, "We need to stop this right now, please. We're in the middle of a shopping centre." And you have other parents as well judge you and everything.
So you get down on the ground to her level.
Yeah, so I always got taught, you go to their level, because if you're going to talk down to them, then you're talking down. So you get to their level, you talk to them, you say, okay. Like, my daughter will walk off and sit in the corner somewhere, and I'll be like, okay, I'll give her a minute. I'll walk over saying, "Are you okay?" She's like, "No, I'm okay, I'll come back in a second." I said, "Do you want me to give you a hug or something?" So, but, like, you have people give you death stares and everything. Like, I've even had to say, "Well, you can deal with her if you like, because I'm just letting her have her little moment and then she'll be fine." Whenever I see another parent or something, I'll smile at them and go, "I understand." Like,
totally understand.
You don't know what's happened at the start of the day. You don't know why that child's having a meltdown. You don't know if they do have a mental illness or something, or if something's gone wrong. 99% of the time, it's you didn't buy them something, so they're having a meltdown. So you can't really sit and judge also a parent or someone else when you don't know their situation too.
That's right. So true. So if there was you're at the supermarket and there's a child screaming in the trolley, what would you do?
Honestly,
just say if that was your nephew or something, sitting in the trolley and they're having a screaming fit, what would you do?
Well, I would pull it to this. If it was my nephew or someone I was with, or my daughter, I'd obviously step out of the way and talk calmly with them. I talk calmly, but in a way that's stern as well, like to say, "No, we need to stop this now. If you're going to be like this, then we're just going to go home, or we're not going to do anything for you. You've got to be good. We're in a public place. Like, stop, or we're going home."
But do you seriously think you'd get all that out?
Yeah.
Do you seriously think they hear all that?
This is where, like, and this is what I really learnt with psychology is, so up to the age of 5, that 85% of a child's brain is developed. So that last 15% is the rest of your life, obviously.
Is that right?
Yep, 85% of your brain up to the age of 5. Children understand. My daughter comes up and comes out with things, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like, and it's kind of like that, doing the psychology too, I've kind of learnt as well different ways to talk to, obviously, children or elderly people. Like, you've got to sometimes talk in a different way, depending on an age group as well. But when a child sees you at their level and sees you talking calm but firm, if like Chloe will like scream and stuff, I'll be like, "Okay, no, just wait. I'm not going to talk until you stop." And so I make sure that they hear what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to do it in a way where you're going to yell, you're going to get angry with them or everything. You can be like, "Okay, well, I'll wait to talk if you're going to do that." Yeah.
Okay, I get all that.
So kids understand a lot more than what some people do. Like, we know they understand things, but you don't always give kids a lot of credit for how much they do understand.
And I mean, that's a fascinating fact.
Yeah.
You know, 85% before they're 5. Like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just wrote it down.
So, right. Look out to all my grandchildren because I'm onto you now. All of you. Right. Okay. Yeah. So, wow. All right. So, if there's someone out there tonight, either they themselves are going through it, or maybe someone in their family have a mental health issue, situation like that, what would you say to that person? What would be your message of hope to that particular person?
I don't think how to say it.
Look at the camera. You tell them right now exactly what your message is to them.
So, as I was saying before, everyone's been through something, and for me, it's best to get a paper, step back, take a look at it, write everything down that is really, like, everything in order, and deal with each thing on its own. If you try to deal with everything, you're not going to get anything, you're not going to get very far, you'll start one, you won't finish the other. But if you deal with something, move on, you're more likely to actually be able to do something about what's going on.
Good advice. Like, that's great. A great message. And, you know, like, I guess, you know, my little message is that don't live with what you're going through, you know. Do something about it. And no matter what in life, just don't give up.
Everything is mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I just want to thank a few people tonight. Natalie Hewitt, Desi Kosher, Todd Wrench, Anne Egan Plazier, Frank Day, Janice Lane, Tony McNamara, Joanne Haskew, Steve O'Grady, Cherie Jones, Susanna Wilkinson, Colleen Dandelion, Narelle Michelle, Yasmin Harmon, Sharon Sharp, Mel Robertson, Lisa Lapham, and look, many, many more, as they say. So, you know, Lifeline, 131114. Please write it down. And if you know of anyone that's going through a whole lot of stuff, write down the numbers and just pass it to them, you know, very discreetly, and just say that we are there for them. Like, you know, that Beyond Blue, 1300224636. So that's 1300 224636. Lifeline 13 11 14. So, you know, write it down now, and if you've got someone in mind, take the time this week and go and visit them. Just go and visit them, have a cup of tea with them, and just say that you're there for them, and slip them those numbers if they need some help or assistance in some way. And maybe after you leave they might do something about it. But, you know, like, we've all been through situations in our life, and I'm sure a lot of you have got so much that you could talk about yourself, and, you know, you haven't done anything about it, and maybe you just want to talk to someone. Well, these organisations are in place for that reason. So I just want you to, you know, like I said, take some time this week and go and visit someone in need, and, you know, help them out, or let them know that you care about them, because it can be just as simple as a hug, or just someone turning up for a cuppa. That could be enough, you know. So no matter what in life, you know that you're going to be okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's what I reckon. What do you think, Miss Australia International National Finalist?
And they can, I'll put in the chat thing my handle so they can follow me if they want, or if anyone needs to talk, they can talk to me.
There you go. Can't get any better than that. So, I just find you fascinating. Sorry. I'm in awe of you. Gosh, can you imagine what I'd be like if I knew what you know now at 24? Good Lordy, yeah. Anyway, yeah, kapow, as they're saying in the background here. So, you know, like I said, know in life that you're going to be okay and that everything's going to be all right. Like, don't give up. You know, talk to someone, contact someone, ring an organisation, get help.
Yeah.
So what do you reckon?
Yep.
I reckon everyone should be okay.
Yep.
So that's us. It's us over and out. Thanks for coming, Havannah, tonight. And I got the name right, Havannah?
Yep, my mum will be happy.
Oh, what's your mum say?
Leah.
Leah. Havannah was just such a pleasure, and you should be so proud of such a beautiful young woman. Thank you, everyone. Know that you're going to be okay. It's a thumbs up from us. Good night, everyone.
Bye.